In this class, we're going to talk about a very simple function. Yeah, I am talking about sum function. Okay, sum. Um, Sum function, it's a pretty simple function. It's one of the first functions that everybody learn when start using Microsoft Excel, but you may find yourself in trouble using it sometimes. In this class, I'm going to show you 8 different causes of different problems that may happen when using the sum function. So if you find a solution for your problem here, please go there in the comment in this video which solution solved your problem. If it was the first solution, the second one, the third, until the 80th solution that I'm going to show you here, okay? And if this is your first time here in our channel, my name is Marcos Rodelo, and every week I bring new solutions, new information for your reports, for your work, to help you to gain time and more efficiency in your routine, okay? So hit the like button already, subscribe to the channel to receive all notification, okay? And let's start our class. So first of all, I'm going to get myself right here. Oh, not really here. I'm going to get myself, and I'll take me to the corner of the screen, okay? Okay, good. Here I am, a bit smaller. Okay, good. Actually, I'm going to put myself up here because I have the status bar here. I have amplified it a bit because it will make us easy to see the numbers, just like that, okay? I have amplified my status bar so you can follow exactly what I'm looking here when I select some numbers here, okay? Actually, I'm going to put it here and bring until here, and then we have a huge status bar. Good, perfect. So let's start. Let's suppose you have a table, okay, with some dates, some value. We're calculating some discount, and with an if function here, I'm calculating the discount, and I have a sum down here that is not working. I have the sum from D2 until D12. It's perfect, D12, but there's nothing here. Nothing is working, no sum at all. That's one of the most simple things to solve, but it occurs with many people, many professionals, many users, and sometimes it takes time for the professional to understand what's happening here. So first thing you'll check when you have a problem like that, you're going into your formulas bar here, okay, in the ribbon, Excel ribbon, formulas bar, formulas guide here, and we're going into the formula auditing group. And here we have this error checking. Let me show you a bit better. I'm going to make it bigger for you. Yeah, just like that. Now let me bring here, and I can make even bigger. Good, perfect. So now if you check the error checking, I'm going to click here, and it can check for circular references, and that's exactly what's the issue here. There are a circular reference between the cell D12 and B12. That's the problem. When we have a circular reference in our workbook, nothing works properly. Nothing. It's a crash in your file, in your workbook. From now on, things will be happening very strangely, behaving very strangely. Your calculations won't work properly because you have a circular reference, okay? And through error checking, you can find easily where the problem is. So here it's saying D12 and B12. D12, it's this one here. I already see that there's no problem here. But B12, it's calculating an average from all those values in here, okay? And here in D12, I have this if that is calculating with B12. So one cell depends of the other cell. It can't work, okay? This is a circular reference. You can do this kind of things in VBA. In VBA, with macros, you can make a cell equals to other cell and no big deal about that. But here in the formula, in the worksheet formula, you cannot do that. Okay, so I'm going to correct this. I'll drag this function here. I'll just put any number here. And the issue is solved, okay? Actually, I have, when you create, let me just come back here. When you create a circular reference, it shows those arrows to you, okay? But I have removed them because sometimes you will ignore them and you won't see any errors. So right now, before starting the video, I went into formula auditing and I had removed arrows. So, my God, where can I find it, the problem? That's why I showed to you how you can find circular references. But in general, if I do that again, it will show you the arrows, right? Perfect. So I'm going to introduce any number here and we are good to go. Now my formula is working properly. So anytime you have two cells or more and one cell, here I'll just say A, and I have this cell here equals to this one, and I say this cell here equals to this one, we have a circular reference. You cannot do that, okay? Perfect. So that was the first cause, the first problem. If your problem it's not this one, so let's go to the second probable cause of the problem of your sum function. Here we have a different situation, a complete different situation that I'm going to show you. But first of all, I have to come back with my window, otherwise you won't be able to understand what we are doing here. Let me just bring it back. Okay, I'm dragging. I believe you was not able to see a few things of the last class. Well, if there was something missing, you just put there in the description and I can remake this video, no problem, okay? So what I want to show you here, right now I have a table very similar to what we were working on the first tab here, and I have some values in the A columns, some discounts, some new values here, and I'm going to sum those values. So here we go, equals sum, and I'll select those values, enter, and no, it will not show the value to me. But why is that? First thing I would think in this case, I would consider that my cell can be formatted in text, but that's not the case. Here it's accounting and it's not text, because if I have a text cell, it won't calculate, it will show the function that it's there, but that's not the case. It's accounting here. If I get any other cell here, you see it's like general format, and now I'm going to make another kind of sum. So equals to this one plus this one plus this one, and I'll do it one by one just to see what's the problem. Now probably will work. Enter, and no, not working at all. What's the problem here? There's no problem in your file. There's no circular reference, nothing like that. What's happening here is that the angel that sent the file to you, that made this file available to you, and maybe that was yourself, but I don't know, it have pressed a button to show the formulas of your worksheet. So if we come here in guide formula, in formula auditing, the group formula auditing, we have this button here, show formulas, and it's activated. When it's activated, it won't calculate the formulas, it will just show you the formulas. If I press this button now, look, it's perfect. Everything is working proper now. Okay, so that was the second cause for your sum. It's not working. So you have to be careful about that show formulas button. I already had troubles with some students, with some colleagues here, and those were one of the first things that happened, the circular reference and the button show formulas. So if you didn't find yet what's happening with your sum function, let's go to the third probable cause. Here in the third probable cause, I have this table, very much like what we were seeing in the others, but here if I select all those values from my D column, look what I have as a sum. I have 1,667, but that's not what's showing in my sum here. And if I check the sum, it's okay. It's from D2 until D12, but hold on there. There's something strange here because I just see the 4th row until the 12th row, but there's some rows missing here because I have my table filtered. There's a filter that has been applied in here. So this sum, it's not the same as those values that it's showing right here. This is a problem, okay? So how can we solve this? Pretty much easy. You may use the sum function, no problem, but it will just work when you have nothing filtered. So if I clear this filter here, my sum will be perfect. Look at that. It's perfect, okay? You have to create another calculations with this subtotal function. That's what you're going to use. So here I have many possibilities: average, count, count A, max, min, product. We want sum. Sum, it's the 9th number here, so sum. And I'll separate this. Here I use this comma with the dot above, okay? You probably use just comma, so don't make exactly what I'm doing here. You have to use the way you're used to work in your computer, okay? And now I'm going to select all those cells here, and we'll have pretty much the same value. Pretty much the same value, okay? Now let me just put this here, okay. But now there is a difference. If I filter my data here, so let us remove some days here. Look at that. Here, my sum function keeps showing the total, regardless of what I have filtered. It doesn't care about my filtering. But my subtotal function will be exactly the same as the data that I am showing here. Okay, so you have to be careful about that, because if you're filtering your database will have some troubles about using sum function. So be smart and In this case, try to work with subtotal, okay? That will help you a lot. So that was our third cause, our third probability to be causing some issues in your sum function. And now we have the fourth to 8 possibilities, and this we will work in the same worksheet. Take a look at that. So I brought here some possibilities for us to work together, and I'm going to show you how to make all of this work. Okay, right now I have this number here, and we're going to see how to make them work. First of all, space. I have a lot of number here. I'm selecting them, and if you check my status bar, you see that it's just counting. There's just a counting there. There's no sum, no average, nothing like that, because it's not understanding this as a number. Many things that I'm going to show you here, it happens mostly when you download your worksheet, your workbook from a system, from a program. So you have a program about sales, about production, and you generate some report and download it to usually an XLS file, something like that. When it opens from the system, it may bring some ghost characters within, close to the numbers. In this case, I believe it may occur with some space, the space character. Okay, so if I check here, I have some space before my numbers. You see, if I use len here to count my characters here, take a look at that. Len, it's returning 7. The number, it's 45. How can it be 7? So it's wrong. There's something inside of that, something ominous happening there that I can't see. But in this case, I create this table. I know that it's the space character, okay? So right now, I'm going to select all those cells. I'm going to press Ctrl 8, and here we're going to find what I want to find. I want to find space. So I'll press space. And replace with what? I'll replace with nothing. You just don't put anything here, okay? Anything. Nothing. And I'll hit replace all. Replace all. There we go. Now I have my sum functioning perfectly because I have removed all of those spaces that were corrupting my formula here, right? Okay, so this was the fourth cause, and now we will try the fifth cause, which is a ghost character. It's mostly the same thing about the space, but this is not a space. How is not a space? There's a lot of characters that looks like space, smells like space, there's the color of the space, the voice is just like space, but it's not space. For example, I use it to give this example, the Alt 255. Alt 255, Alt 255. You see, it just has the same, it behaves like a space, but this is not a space. And this is the character that I have introduced here. So, for example, if I have selected, and oh, there is some space here, I'm pretty sure, you see, I'm going to select them, Ctrl 8, and find space, replace with nothing, replace all, and that won't work because that's not a space, okay? And it may happen with you. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select one character here to have a sample. I want a sample of this character. So I'm going to select only one, okay? I just have used the arrows and shift button here, and Ctrl C. I'll copy this sample, and now I'm going to select all of this, Ctrl 8, find what? I'm going to delete this space here, and I'll paste my sample here. And I'll replace with nothing. Replace all. There you go. Now I have my sum functioning again. And this was my fifth probable cause for your problem. Haven't we solved yet what you're looking for? No, so we have still 3 shots to go. So let's try this. Decimal separator. I brought here a comma as a decimal separator. For me, it's fine. I'm used to use comma and dot just as a decimal separator. I change it every time during my day. And right now I have used with comma here. If you don't use the separator that is set up in your system, in your Windows, it won't work properly. So if you're used to use dot, you can't bring like comma. So if the report that you have downloaded from the system, the program, it brings another kind of decimal separator, it won't work properly for you. So you have to replace it just as well. So if if I wanted to, my Excel uses dot as a decimal separator. So let me check here if I have a great number here, and I will go format. Let me check this, this format. You see, I'm using comma here, really. So actually my system have not realized what I'm doing here. It's a text. Let me just use a general. Yeah. Actually, my example should be different, okay? My system is already set up to use like comma. So I have already solved the issue before showing it to you. Too bad. But the idea was to find something just like that. If I had the dots, something like that, mostly like this, and then it wouldn't calculate because I'm using dots. So I would have to replace with Ctrl 8, and there I could use find dot and replace to comma, and that would work. Okay, so I have changed my setup before starting our video here, and I forgot completely, so sorry about that. But that's the point of the 6th cause that we're dealing here. The decimal separator, you have to see which you're using in your Microsoft Excel, and if it's different, replace it, okay? Most things that we have done here, the replace have saved us, okay? But right now, it won't be like that. These last 2 here, they will work properly different. Right now, I have this error, so I have a column which, if I select here, I have a sum in my status bar. And if I select here, I also have it. But when I bring the error in the middle, it just counts. It cannot make the sum because there is an error here. Okay, you can treat the error. Right now, I'm making division by 0, so that won't work at all. You can mend it, trying to use some like if error can save you. So if this returns an error, just show to me 0, for example. Enter, and that will work probably. But right now, it's pretty much easy to identify it because I have a few rows here, a few lines, only 9. It's easy, I can see the error. But if you have a table, a database with 100,000 rows, and there are something like 2 or 3 errors there, you won't see them. You just won't have the sum, and you won't see the errors. In this case, sometimes works for you to introduce a filter, and in the filter, it will show to you that there is an error in there, okay? It's a way that you can find it. Or you can also sort your table. Sort, and the error will bring up or down depending how you're going to sort it, but it's a way you have to show that error to you. So this is The seventh cause, what can be happening in your file, what can happen there in your sum function, why it's not working. And now we arrive here. It's just as text. No, don't do that. Come on. Great. And now we have the last, the 80th cause. And it's a very simple thing. Here I'm using a text format in my cells. So you can see here, it's just like text. So when I select them, it just counts them in my status bar. So if you care to take a look at your status bar, it can bring a lot of information to you, okay? And I can see why the sum is not working. It's just like test. Usually when it happens in your workbook, Excel will say it for you. He will try to communicate with you to save your life. Just like what? Usually we have this thing here that I have disabled in my computer because I don't like them. But you will have something just like that. These green points right here in the corner, and they will carry a message for you. Let's see the message first. The number in this cell is formatted as text or preceded by an apostrophe. Okay, and you can convert it. You can just simply select and just convert here. Convert to numbers, something like that, pretty much easy. But let's say that in your computer you also don't like those green things and you have disabled them, just like me. So let me disable it. Okay, and it's not showing any sign to you. Oh my God, this is all text. Usually I would press the F2 button and enter, and that would start to convert them in number. But that's too much work. I don't want to do that. Because if I bring my cell here and multiply it by 1, it would turn into a number. You see? If I do precisely that, it can work as a number, and I'm just multiplying it by 1. So you can do exactly what I'm doing here with these multiplications, or you can also do this thing here. Press 1 in this cell. Let us copy this one here. Ctrl C, and I'll select them, select all of them, right button, and we are going to do a paste special. No, there's no option in here about what we're going to do. There's no icon. We have to really click in the word paste special. I'll click, and here I have values. I want to paste it as a value, and multiply. It will multiply 1 by all of those values there. Okay, and there you go. Now we have our sum working. So this is the last probable cause for your sum. It's not working in your file. Maybe if you multiply by 1, it can solve everything and you can be happy again. Okay, it's a pretty simple thing, but I really cared to bring the most probable causes for you to solve once for all this issue, because nobody deserves to suffer because of a sum function. It's unfair. It's just a sum. Come on. You don't have to suffer because of this, okay? So I hope you have enjoyed it. Just hit the like button there if it really helped you somehow, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us here. Every week we bring lots of information to you to help you improve your knowledge, your reports, all your data with automations, with VBA, with macros, and many other things. Just simple as a sum function sometimes, okay? So I'll see you in our next class.